Hello there, I am Joshua Lisec, the Ghostwriter. I'm joined today by John Sterling, the author of Sales for Noobs, the book for people at the beginning of their sales career, whether it's as an actual salesperson and that's your job, earning 100% commission, or maybe you're a freelancer or a small business owner and you find yourself doing sales for the first time, which you are effectively a 100% sales, 100% commission salesperson anyway if you're a freelancer, because you only get to eat what you kill, as they say. How are you doing today, John?
Doing great, Joshua. Well, thanks for having me on.
It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. So one of the things that a lot of people want to know about any successful author is what made you want to write a book in the first place?
Well, I had a long, couple of decades career hiring brand new salespeople, training them, getting them up to speed, and had over 100 salespeople that I worked with in that fashion. And I always thought I had this book in me to kind of tell people, how they should start their career, what they should learn right away to kind of get started quickly, which is what we did for our sales reps. And, as you know, I worked on it, do it yourself fashion for about 10 years and was really getting nowhere. Um, and, not until I met you did I find a way to get what was in my head out into a book.
So what was it about my pitch then that made you believe that this was going to be the way to finally get a 10-year project done in a few months?
There's a few things. I mean, the first was I heard you on Scott Adams' podcast. And so that's kind of, I think that validated you as a serious person, because I know there's a lot of people who do this. But I like the way you talked about, your job being, there's a lot of people like me, professionals that have learned something that aren't professional writers, and they're just never going to get it out, on their own. And your job is to kind of pull it out and put it into a book. And so I like that explanation. And of course, you were very patient during the learning cycle, teaching me what we were going to do. So everything went well.
Was there anything that you were particularly excited about during our regular conversations, as we would basically pull the book out of you and turn it into first draft chapters?
Um, I think, once we figured out the title and the market we're going after and kind of the way that, you taught me about keywords and Amazon and kind of what we should be trying to target chapter wise, keyword wise, that I could see every month that we're on chapter 3, we're on chapter 4. I could see that, if you've never written a book before and you start to believe that you're actually going to have a book, by October, you're like, what? I can't believe it. So, it was just nice to be able to see the progress, and, I was kept in the loop as to where we were.
And you brought up a great point about our experience that differs from a typical book writing experience. And I think that's some solid advice for people, which is that you and I, we began this with asking the questions, okay, who is this book for? Why are they going to buy it? What are their top concerns and problems that they're struggling with that make a book a worthwhile read? And even what are the keywords that they are searching for on books like yours? We did not say, okay, John, what book do you want to write? And then we just write whatever comes from the consciousness out of our conversations. We started with the end in mind, which was who's going to buy it? Why are they going to buy it? What keywords are they searching for on Amazon and on Google to find books like this? And then we simply put it in front of them. So what kind of reception has the book received since it's been out?
It's been fantastic. We have a steady stream of new sales every month. All the proteges and people I know that have read the book have all given it a thumbs up and like it. And then most importantly, I get, contacted almost every day from strangers, people in college and people maybe who are about to go into sales who say, hey, I found your book. I read your book. It really helped me. I want to say thank you. And then just like we planned, the book has also become a calling card. And many people read it or see it in business, and I get kind of business clients from that too. People want me to come teach their sales teams, kind of how we get it.
And that's the best way to do it, is the monetization of the manuscript, right?
Exactly.
So you mentioned that you get a lot of feedback, praise. Hey, this is really helpful. What lessons do people typically mention the most from Sales for Noobs that was most helpful to them?
Well, first of all, it's been interesting. Most of my feedback has come through LinkedIn. And it's probably because that's the easiest way to find somebody and to reach them. So I've gotten most of the feedback through LinkedIn, Messenger, whatever it's called. But the feedback's been pretty uniquely consistent. From a noob perspective, it's all about stopping and figuring out what the heck is it you want to do. What field do I want to get into? What do I want to sell? Do I want to go high ticket, mid ticket, low ticket? I want to go big company, small company, what geography? And to start, make these choices. So then you can say, what companies meet my criteria? And then start dripping to those companies trying to get that perfect sales job for you. And I think most people, including myself when I was that age, got it backwards. And they were kind of shotgunning it, saying, I want to find a good, high paying sales job. And it might be in the wrong field, it might be the wrong size deal. Like in my case, I couldn't sell something super high end and complicated. That's not the way I work. But some people do. And so you have to kind of find that balance. But that's been the biggest thing, is they're very appreciative of someone who explains in the book how they figure out what they want to do.
Absolutely. And it's something similar to the way that we began this book process. What sales book do people want to buy? And so
Right.
we wrote that together. And your
Right.
question is, well, what's the sales job that I want to get? What do I actually want to be selling? Not what sales jobs are there. You say, what
Right.
what will I be able to easily sell?
Right.
And that is a mindset shift, very much in the way that we did a mindset a shift as well. And of course, we didn't just have, okay, Joshua, interview me and put together a Word document and figure out what to do with it. We did the whole shebang, so that you actually ended this adventure together with a real physical book. And I think it's in a couple of bookstores, right?
Absolutely. We've got the Citadel where I went to school. It's down there at that bookstore. It's right next to Pat Conroy. If you want to get Conroy or Sterling, we're both down there. And then there's a little gift store in Flat Rock, North Carolina called the Wrinkled Egg, also there, or you can get it on Amazon. One of those three places.
Yeah, most people buy books on Amazon anyway, so that it
That's
makes
true.
sense that you would be you'd be on Amazon.
That's true.
I have one more question for you, John, which is this: the number one reason people should buy Sales for Noobs consistently. Now, not everyone, but that market of people who are looking for sales advice. They're looking, how can I close better deals higher for myself or for my company? What's the number one piece of advice that's in the book that you could pull out of it right now to give to them watching?
Well, I mean, I'd say the number one thing is they have to focus on themselves first. So before they even pick the market they want to sell to, is are you squared away? Are you physically fit, mentally fit? Are you doing all the right things just to kind of be a good, solid human being? Because a lot of people come to me and they're just, life's kind of a mess. And they say, I want a high paying sales job. And I'm like, well, you're not going to get one. Not like this. You've got to get yourself under control first. So we kind of start the book with the person first, then figure out what you want to do. And eventually we get to, how to find prospects, how to sell stuff, how to negotiate. But I do feel like that comes later.
Good. Yeah, if they can make themselves as individuals an attractive salesperson, meaning, wow, I really want to hire that person, then you're able to carry that energy into what it is that you're selling. I really want to buy from that individual. I want to hire them as a professional services provider, or I want to buy the software that they're selling me. And that's cool about this book as well. It's not just for people going door to door, which or cold calling, literally cold calling over the phone. It's also for people who are like messaging people on LinkedIn, or they're going on podcasts to talk about their company's services, or they're doing chats, or they're cold emailing. All of the above, the principles in this apply.
Right. Well, I agree. I think they ought to all buy the book and buy a few copies for your friends.
Swell. Well, John, I really appreciate your time today talking about Sales for Noobs and our adventure together, getting it written and published. And I wish you all the best of success, continuing with the monetizing it and the getting into more and more bookstores, and of course that consistent royalty checks coming your way.
All right. Well, thank you, partner. I appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Sure thing.